One of the leading concerns among couples out of everything is how they communicate. And out of communication, it's what we call sexual desire differences. Like basically, I have very few people that I have ever met in my life, couples who have long, healthy, striving marriages that don't have a desire discrepancy. When I say desire discrepancy, what I'm talking about is when one partner wants sex more frequently than the other. It's so common. It is probably most relationships. There's always one partner who seems to want sex more than the other. And what ends up happening is the person who doesn't get sex as much as they want, depending on how their partner responds to them, they can start feeling rejected, alone, bad about themselves. And they, rather than them just taking that in, they usually get defensive. They start listening to people, they start watching different programs about it, and that gives them cause to blame the partner who they feel is rejecting them. And this scenario happens to so many marriages, and let me tell you, it is a leading cause of why people go to see a therapist. What starts as a sex issue ends up with a really bad intimacy issue, an inability to talk to each other, to feel heard, to feel close, and eventually the marriage will start unraveling because it needs the emotional intimacy. And if people respond terrible to this desire discrepancy, they start acting out, doing things that starts unraveling the ability to even talk about it, to feel close with each other. So I want to take you through some things that I think are going to be helpful for you if you're in this stage where you feel like you're not getting sex, you feel unappreciated, you feel rejected, and you're starting to blame your partner. First of all, you have to normalize the situation. This is so common. This is not a reason to leave your marriage. It's not a reason to have an affair. It's not a reason to do anything, but understand right now that it's common. And talking about it, opening it up, making it common rather than something terrible that you never expected or something horrible that means you have to split. If you start doing that, you're taking a path that is not advised. And not only that, it's not going to make you any happier, it's not going to make your partner any happier, and sex is not going to become any more frequent. And when it does happen, it's not going to feel good for both people. Secondly, prioritize open communication. I want you to start when you talk about it, and I'm not saying you should talk about it all the time, but when you talk about it, use I statements. Say how you feel. Avoid blaming the other person or making the other person the problem or someone you have to fix. Be curious instead of critical. That when you start criticizing your spouse, you're in trouble. And that goes for both spouses, because sometimes the one who doesn't want to have sex as much starts criticizing their partner that they do want it as much as they do. And that is not going to help the situation at all. The next step, expand your definition of intimacy. And this is where a sex therapist can really help, because I have helped couples explore more. What is intimacy for you? You can be extremely intimate, lying in bed together, lightly clothed or not at all, holding hands and just sharing, just talking. You don't need to always think of sex as one act, one performance. It's many things. And being close to your partner and having both people enjoy it is what matters most. A massage can be extremely intimate, and it can feel so good and make you feel so close to your partner. Things like exploring non-sexual touch, closeness, hugs, long walks, wrapped in each other, stopping and sitting on a bench and just kissing, making out like you used to do. Those things are extremely intimate, and they don't necessarily involve a performance. Scheduling intimacy times. I know many people like the whole idea of spontaneity, but if you're having trouble with your desire and you're feeling like you never have sex anymore, then getting it on the calendar, you don't have to say, okay, time for sex. You can say, this is our intimacy, couple hours. We're just going to do something intimate together. Let's cook together and then have, breakfast in bed or lunch in bed or whatever it is. The main thing is the two of you are enjoying being close to each other, both physically and emotionally. And now the next thing is, really address the underlying causes. We know things like hormone imbalances, going through menopause or perimenopause, or just having a baby. Those things are really going to affect your mood, your mind. And it takes a partner to be understanding and say during those times, rather than do you want sex, what can I do that will make you feel close to me and help you understand how much I love you. That's a nice way of saying, how can I be close to you without hurting you or without making you feel exhausted or tense? Next, mental health issues. If people are feeling depressed, anxious, or they have other mental health concerns, they're not going to feel like having sex if they're feeling out of control or overwhelmed. So make sure you're getting those doctor appointments and going in and getting checked and doing the assignments that your counselor or therapist, whoever you're working with, is talking to you about. Chronic stress or sleep deprivation. If you're working a job and it is so overwhelming and you come home and you're taking care of kids and you're working at home, and then you try to go to sleep and you can't sleep, after about 3 days of that, you are not the same person. Your brain chemistry is off, and your brain chemistry affects all bodily organs, mostly sex. So if you haven't been in the mood and you're also not sleeping, those two are very correlated. Work on the sleep first. Go see your doctor. Get that taken care of so you're able to sleep and feel rested, and then address the sexual issues. And I think any past sexual trauma, maybe you're holding on to an old sexual wound and you never told anyone. Some of these are emotional only, but they're still wounds. And once you're able to talk about it, to be honest about it, to lay that burden down and have someone else help you unravel it, resolve it, you're going to feel so much better. And you probably will be restored sexually, or at least you'll want that. And it's the desire your partner needs. It's the desire to want to be with each other that is so problematic if it completely disappears. I also think that, rather than trying to fix your partner, you go into exploring different ways to be intimate, that you start agreeing on a rhythm, something that feels good for both of you. That might be something as simple as once a week. We get together and we have intimacy and we just feel so restored from that. Being open to compromise. Okay? Compromise is important in all areas of your marriage. If your partner wants to have intercourse and you say, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, I got to get up early, what can you do that's going to help you feel close to your partner and help them not feel rejected, but close to you as well? It's important you be honest, that you don't do something and fake it, because over a long lifetime, if you're married and you're in a thriving marriage, you're telling your partner, I lied, just to make you happy. And that's not healthy for your relationship either. I think lastly, consider working with a sex therapist. A sex therapist listens, they give you assignments, they help at least you get a schedule where it's hopeful, where you can develop intimacy on your own way. But I will leave you with these lasting words. Your sex life should look like nobody else's. You might hear your buddies or your friends say, oh, we have sex every night. Forget about that. It's not going to behoove you or your relationship to go home and try to have sex every night. What is going to behoove your relationship is if you talk to your partner, you get into a rhythm that works for the two of you, and you understand this is open to change. We're on a journey. This works right now. Our kids are this ages. I got this crappy job or whatever, and this is the best I can do. But mostly be a team and love each other. Love each other more than you love saying no or being resistant to any possible compromise about the two of you coming together and sharing your lives. This is so important because how you tell your partner, I don't want sex, but I do want intimacy, is everything in a marriage, especially a happy marriage. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.